Hey friends, welcome back to the channel. If you are new here, my name is Paul and I like to go over things that I am curious about and that I've looked into. Pretty much like to share here on this channel. So with today's video, the thing that I want to share with you guys, it was the aha moment. It was the thing that I have been talking about earlier this month in regards to trauma, in regards to healing, in regards to a lot of this stuff, okay? This is coming out of the book called Invested by Danielle Town, right here. And she breaks it down. Says it's a 12-month plan to financial freedom. And she pretty much, her story is she was a lawyer, and she was like, okay, I'm working these 80-hour weeks. I don't really see this as for me, but how am I ever gonna, if I change careers, I'm not gonna be financially free. I still got stuff to pay off. So like, how am I gonna do this? And her dad, Phil Town, is a very, very successful investor and whatnot. And so she's like, okay, maybe I can talk to my dad about how to invest and whatnot. So that's what this book is. It's a whole, it's pretty much like what she learned from her conversations with her dad. And I've been really enjoying it so far. Anyways, this video is not to give you a whole breakdown of this book. What this video is on month, I believe it was June. So the 6th month, she had a major breakthrough in her conversations with her dad. And I'll just give you the summary version so that you don't have to read it. Although I will say it's a good book to read. So her mom and dad had a very ugly divorce, according to her. Well, and according to her dad, but this book is through her perspective. So according to her, very, very ugly divorce. And this happened when she was young. And so there was a lot of hurt around it. She had always assumed her dad abandoned her. She had never really heard his side of things. But now that they were having conversations every single month to learn about investing, the conversation finally came up. And, she got to hear his side, and he was talking about like, what are you talking about? Never wanted to abandon you. I was always going to come back. And so long story short, there ends up being like a lot of healing between her and her dad. Now, how is this tied to investing and how is this tied to trauma? It was amazing because what she said in this was what she had realized was she had a lot of stress around investing, okay? But why did she always have a lot of stress around investing? She learned it was because I didn't want to become untrustworthy. I didn't want to invest. I didn't want to become untrustworthy. And she had to sit with that thought. Untrustworthy, untrustworthy. Why am I thinking about untrustworthy? And it was the light bulb moment in her head. Because that's what her dad was to her. Untrustworthy. Her dad, very successful guy. Mom, not so much in terms of finances, but her dad was. But her dad was also the one, according to young her, the one who was untrustworthy, the one who walked out, the one who abandoned. And so for her, although she always had a desire to be financially free, to invest, etc., she wasn't willing to cross her value system of being untrustworthy. What does this go to show us? Values are always higher than various desires. Our values determine our behaviors. We may want to do certain things, but values determine behaviors. What's another thing that we can take away from this? When she learned that that was the connection being made. Why did she always have this, feeling in her stomach? Why did she always get uneasy? Why did she always get anxious, stressed out when it came to money? It all was tied back to the event that happened when she was younger in childhood. So with that being understood, she then was able to move forward, and then obviously it helped hearing her dad tell his side of things, like, I never wanted to abandon you. I was always going to come back and whatnot. That, of course, helped her heal some things over, although it does not mean the effects were gone. She's still, like, even understanding everything that she understood. Okay, my stress is connected to this childhood thing. My dad never wanted to leave us. It doesn't mean, though she has her understanding, that the stress automatically goes away. It doesn't mean the anxiety automatically goes away. But she learned, I'm not actually stressed about the money. I'm stressed about crossing my value, which is I want to be trustworthy. But now that she was able to have that background information and understand what was going on, now it allowed her to move forward into taking the steps to financial freedom. This leads me to why I'm recording this video for you guys. This is exactly what I was talking about earlier this month. And this is the epiphany that I had earlier, and this is why I love this so much. If you see that there's an area in your life where you are not able to move forward, or maybe there's something good that you know is like inherently good, like, hey, maybe I should invest. Like, this is a good thing. I want to be independent. I want to be, etc. But like, there's just something, some invisible force that's holding you back. You can't do it no matter what you do. You just can't do it. I'm telling you, I really, really, really believe a lot of this stuff is linked to trauma. And so if you do any type of searching, it just helps so much to go back and go, okay, if I think this thing is good and I know internally I want it, yet there's something else in me that will not allow me to move forward, that will not allow me to take those steps. My intuition is telling me, according to my experience, according to what I've seen and the epiphanies that happen, there is most likely something that has happened way early on in your life that, although you may not be conscious of it right now, it's probably through years been repressed, suppressed, whatever the correct terminology would be in that, or maybe it's even both, but it is somewhere in there and it is causing you subconsciously not to go there. And I know for myself, I have a very, very similar experience to Danielle in terms of the value system that she didn't want to cross because of the certain traumatic event that happened. But once I identified, one, not only the traumatic event or multiple, but two, that it is encouraging that I'm listening to my values and that I wasn't going to compromise my values, even though I really wanted a thing, the path moving forward gets a lot more clear. So what are the takeaways from this video? One, if you want to do something and you can't move forward, identify what's the root of that stress, okay? So ask yourself, so like, just to use this as an example with like the investing, ask, is it money? Does money itself stress me out? Yes or no? Is it all the work that's going to be involved? Is that the thing that's like stressing me out? Is it too much work and so, my brain's just going crazy? Yes or no? Okay. Is it something that comes with that maybe? Like maybe you don't mind doing the work, but like, oh, all the success, like you're not okay with all the success that will come and what comes with success, and maybe what that means for your own value system. Okay, yes or no? But if you cannot find one of those things that is just very obvious, the next step to do is to look back. What is connected to whatever this thing is that you're wanting to do? What is connected to that in whatever way, shape, or form? So for Danielle, it was her dad. Her dad was connected to finances, and then it goes back to that. See what connections are there. And then from that connection, go back and go, did anything happen earlier in my life from this connection? And then I think moving forward from that, just understanding your own value system, understanding where you want it to go moving forward. And this will take, I've been wondering in my own life for many, 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 many years. I've had stuff go on since I was very, very little, even to recently. So I don't think there's any type of this quick fix or anything like that. So I'm only saying that to say, don't get discouraged if you don't figure it out right away or if you don't get the first couple, but constantly be asking yourself these questions. And when it comes to finances, I do believe, myself included with her, that there are so many other variables tied to finances themselves that are causing you not to move forward other than just what the surface level is, okay? She was a lawyer by trade. She was definitely smart enough. It wasn't the smartness that was keeping her. It wasn't her lack of intelligence. It wasn't the workload. She studied to be a lawyer. There's an insane amount of work with that. It wasn't any of those things, but she never had the epiphany until she realized and had that conversation with her dad. So I thought this was a very valuable lesson, and I wanted to share it with you guys. If you guys have not seen any of my other videos on trauma, I'll be sure to link them below so you can go check them out. But with that being said, I will see you on the next one.